Hey everyone, this is John from InsiderSentiment.com, and today I just want to kind of give you a demonstration of how you can use the dashboard on InsiderSentiment.com to find interesting occurrences from the world of insider trading, the kinds of occurrences that you might use to supplement your own research and your investment practice, and especially if you are into a stock picking strategy. So this is what subscribers see when they log in. This is the dashboard here. You have our screens on the left. And I'm going to start with this screen called the company screening tab. And here basically what this shows is a table, and for each ticker, publicly traded US company ticker, it shows the fundamental and technical indicators. So it's a nice way to filter companies on whatever indicators you want to examine. And you can see the table here, and this drop-down menu above it is where we have the columns in the table. So I'm going to go into this drop-down menu and look for the insider trading columns. So I'm going to add this one to the table. This is net shares traded officers and directors last month. So as it says, it's going to show me for each ticker the number of net shares that were traded by officers and directors in the last month. And so, the example here is like, let's say I'm looking to add a long to my portfolio. So I want to find some companies that have experienced a lot of insider buying in the last month. So I'm going to come here, and I'm also going to add one more column because I'm not only interested in the number of shares that were moved, but also I want to ensure that it's a large dollar volume of shares. So I'm not as interested if the stock price is tiny. So I'm going to add the last closing price to the table as well. And now I want to sort on this net shares traded column. So I'm going to click the arrow twice, and that's going to sort descending. So the biggest values are going to be first. And I'm going to fast forward a bit because I've prepared an example ahead of time, just like the cooking shows. And I'm going to look at this third row where the officers and directors have purchased almost 6 million shares in the last month, and we're looking at nearly a $10 stock price. So it's a pretty good dollar volume of shares that have been purchased. So I want to examine this company more in depth, and so I'm going to open a new tab. This is the firm-specific insider trades tab. And basically this is a way we can look at a company's insider trading activity plotted against their stock price. That is a nice way that you can kind of view those two pieces of data together and kind of see if there's any interesting patterns that arise when you do that. So I'm going to go to the drop-down menu here and enter the company that I just found in the table. And so that's going to show me this graph. And so basically what we're looking at here in green is the stock price of the company, and that corresponds to this right y-axis. And on the left y-axis, we're looking at the daily shares traded, where the sales, insider sales, appear as these red bars, and the insider purchases appear as these blue bars. And it looks like the bars are kind of dominating some of the other data. So I'm going to change the left y-axis to a log type, and that's going to give me this much richer picture where I can kind of see some patterns emerging. So taking a closer look, here we have, in starting like this spring 2021 period, there's a large cluster of sells here and insider sales, and this corresponds with a decreasing stock price. So that's pretty interesting. And there's another cluster of purchases here corresponding to an increasing stock price. It goes from around 8.5 to 12 over the course of like a month and a half approximately. There's another cluster of sales here, and that corresponds with a decreasing stock price here. And the last big cluster is the purchase that we saw in another table. That's this 6 million shares approximately purchased here at the end of June, and it's too early to see how the stock has done since then. But I just kind of wanted to illustrate how you can sometimes see some interesting patterns emerge when you look at these two pieces of data together. And this is not investment advice. I don't know anything about this company. This is just merely an example about how you can use this tool to look at publicly traded data in this particular way. And you can look at lots of these different pictures for different companies, and they're all going to look different. And you sort of have to decide which ones look interesting and which ones don't. And above that graph, you can see this is a list of insiders whose data is populating this graph. And so you can refine this table even further. Refine this graph, because you can use this list of names. You can uncheck these. So let's say you don't want to consider the 10% owners, so you could uncheck them, resubmit the graph, and then look at it again. So that's kind of nice control that you have on this tab as well. So that's mostly what I wanted to show you. I also want to look at one other thing. So there's another company here that I'm going to pull up, Crawford United Corp, and you can see they have some insider purchases here, and this time the stock price appears in red. And essentially what's happening here is that sometimes when we're looking at the dashboard using the company screening tab and the firm specific insider trades tab, we will find something that looks interesting, and we will do a little bit more of an in-depth dive and write about it on the in a blog post. So you can check our blog and see where we've done that, and when we post new ones you can check that as well, and those will usually incorporate the tools that I just shown you in some way. So I hope that was helpful, and thanks for watching.